What's up, YouTube? It's your boy JB, and I am here today with the review for Love After Lockup, season numbers 3, episode 6. And this episode, was titled A Gamble in a Desert, and boy, was it ever a gamble. So, you guys, without further ado, let's just jump into this episode review, shall we? All right, you guys, let's start up with Destiny and Sean. So those two, we see them as they are getting ready to head to Vegas to Sean's house. Sean, you're going to have a time of your life with Destiny out there in Vegas. I can see that right now. So, she's talking about being on a flight. She had never been on one, so she's a little nervous, understandably so. So, we get to his house. Now, the thing that threw me off with Sean about this house was the fact that he was talking about he got it, a place big enough for Destiny so that she can decorate and do whatever she wants. And I'm like, what about your damn kids? Are your kids not welcome to you? I mean, I'm pretty sure that, but damn, you got this house for Destiny, but not your damn kids. That speaks volumes right there. Your kids? What about your kids, man? I just don't understand him at all. So, now, Destiny, however, for the night, she wants to go out on the strip. She wants to have fun. Understandably so. This is her first time in Vegas. Sean, however, wants to lay low. She's talking about, I'm tired of hearing you say, let's lay low, let's lay low. Well, I mean, girl, you have a court case. He put up $5,000 and he could possibly be out $50,000. So I'm kind of understanding Sean a small bit, not a lot. So he tells her that he has some friends coming up. She's like, no, don't tell them to come over. He's like, here's what we'll do. We'll eat and then we'll go out. But again, that's not what Destiny wants. That's what Sean wants. So, the friends come over, Hector, the guy that he was talking to in the first episode when we met him, and his friend and his wife, Veronica, they come over. So, they were getting, they were drinking. Hector was like, oh, it's good to know that you're not a catfish. And then, they started drinking. And Hector let the let the cat slip out the bag that you can drink 24 hours. And Vegas was like, wait, you can do what? He was like, yeah, you can drink all. He's like, but you can make it or break it in Vegas. I feel like when it comes to Destiny, she's gonna break, because Destiny like, what? Fuck dinner. I want to go out on the strip, and that's exactly what they did. And I'm just like, Sean, buddy, you are going to lose that money. That's all I got to tell you. So Hector has been a good friend. He's asking Destiny about herself, what her plans are, what her intentions are. When she said that she wanted to open up a bank account because she's never had one, I was cool with that. But then when she said a joint bank account, I'm like, Sean, you would be really stupid if you open up a joint bank account with this girl. She's going to take your money and run. Period, point blank. She's talking about she does love him and she wants to marry him. And then, Hector asked her how many girlfriends she had. She said she doesn't have any girlfriends, and I'm like, shit, a lie, don't care who tell it, because you tell them the big ass lie. But in her interview with the producers, she was telling us that, when she got transferred to the prison that she got released from, she had sex with a girl. And then she's talking about she's trisexual, like she'll have sex with a fat dude, she'll have sex with anybody, as long as they make her look, her clitoris tingle. I'm like, oh, you might want to clean that up, because if you say you'll have sex with anything, people might take that to mean bestiality as well. I'm just saying, that ain't where my mind is going, but I'm just putting it out there. That's where people's mind could go. Just saying. Let's move on. Shonda and Tyrese. What can I say about these two? A lot, that is. So Tyrese, he's still sitting outside the prison waiting for Shonda, and I think she's supposed to get out at 1:30. So it's now a little bit out. It's like, I think he said 5 minutes after 2. So I'm like, that's not that long, buddy. That's not a long time. I mean, processing could probably take a while. But he's like, he don't give a little bit more time. So then he does get a call from Shonda. Shonda says that there was a change of plan, that they took her to the bus station instead. So now, not Sean, but Tyrese, like, damn, I ain't got to, we cramped for time now. I'm noticing something with Tyrese and something with both him and with that John. Y'all the first thing that y'all think about with these women when they get out of jail is having sex. Like, damn. Like, you can't spend no time with her, like, but he did say cuddle with her, but I'm like, you want to do a lot more than cuddle with that girl. You want to fuck her. Let's keep it real. So he shows up to the bus station, and once again, I'm looking at that suit. That suit was so ill-fitted. I mean, because when the cameras were behind him, it was even worse. I'm like, damn, how can it look worse from the back than it does in the front? Because in the back, you can see how big that suit is. I was wondering if maybe Tyrese at one point weighed, way more than what he does now, and he just never bought a suit. Because my journalism teacher when I was in high school. What was her name? Because she has the most ghetto name, and I remember it. It's Quantala Henry. Quantala. I don't know why her mama named her that, but that was her name, Quantala. Took us a long time to say her name, and she actually sounded it out for us. So the funny thing about her was she was a woman that at one point was heavier, and she showed us before pictures when she was at her heaviest, and she was really big, and she lost a lot of weight, but she never bought herself any new clothes. Like, she wore the same clothes she wore when she was a big girl. And we asked her one day, we're like, Miss Henry, why do you wear the same clothes? Why do you wear those clothes that you wore when you were bigger? Her reasoning, and it wasn't that she couldn't afford it, because she could afford the clothes. We knew she could afford new clothes. She said she wore those clothes as a reminder of where she came from. I'm like, no, ma'am. Those clothes hang off of you. They don't fit. Like, your dresses and your skirts, like they were 3 times as big as they were 3 times her size, like literally. And we always asked her, like, why do you do that? So I wondered if Tyrese was big and he just decided to keep the clothes just to say, hey, this is where I came from. I promise you. Like, I've been big before. And when I lost the weight, whenever I gain weight and I have to buy new clothes, once I get back down to my normal weight, I get rid of those motherfuckers. Like, I throw them out. I don't keep them. I don't want a reminder of when I was bigger. Like, never. But maybe that's what he want to do. Who the fuck knows? Now, Shonda, I'm not one to talk about nobody's looks, because I know people might look at me like JB, you ain't fine. And I would be like, I agree, I'm not. But Shonda, I was just looking at her in the face, and I'm like, she's not an ugly woman, but she's not cute either. Because I actually tweeted that. I'm like, she's just not that cute. I'm not saying she's an ugly woman, she's just not that cute. And then I was looking at her face, and it looked like she has really bad acne on her face. I'm like, oh God. And then she had the half braid. I'm like, girl, you really trying to be a sister, ain't you? But she's not cute. She's not ugly, but she's not cute. So I feel like with Tyrese is just mostly sexual stuff that he sees when it comes to Shonda, because I didn't see it. Gotta keep it real with you. Did not see it. And then the fact that she's 28 and she looks a hard ass 30. What age do I want to give her? She looked a hard ass 39. Like, cause I was just looking at her in the face. I'm like, God damn. Even when she had the makeup on, when she was talking to producers, I'm like, there's no way she's 20. I'm like, she looks older than 28. Like she's aging backward. No. Look like she's aging forward. She's aging. Like, I mean, God damn. That look like hard white people aging. That look like a hard white person who's on drugs age. Because she just does not look anything of 28. So, now Shonda was better than me. Because, she went into the bathroom to change. Now, when she went in that bathroom to change, I was looking at that floor. Because I noticed in the background that in one of the stalls, there was some toilet paper on the ground. So I was like, So you're gonna change in this nasty ass bathroom, and I'm like, again, there is toilet paper on the floor, toilet paper. So if there's toilet paper on the floor, that means that they have not been in that bathroom in a while to clean it, because there should not be toilet paper on the floor if they clean the bathrooms. I mean, I know people go in right after they clean the bathroom, but ugh, ugh. And then the women's bathroom on top of that, the nastiest bathroom there is. You know, oh God, I never knew that the women's bathroom was as nasty as it was. For years as a kid, growing up as a teenager, I would have expected, because I know women are cleanlier than men in most instances. But I did not know that the women's bathroom was as nasty as it was. I have a horror story about the first time I went into the women's bathroom to clean it at my second job when I was 17 years old. Do I want to talk about it here? Yeah, because it's a short story, so it wouldn't be nothing that I could talk about in a story time. Oh my God. So it was the end of the night at my shift, and I was, we called it a courtesy clerk. Bagged the groceries, I worked at the grocery store. Bagged the groceries, took the groceries to the people's cars. So my boss, he asked me, he was like, they call me, when I apply for jobs, I use my first name, so my first name is Gerald. So he was like, Gerald, can you clean the bathroom? I was like, I got this, because I always clean them, because during the day when everybody was working, a man would clean the men's restroom, and a girl would clean and a woman would clean the women's restroom. So I'm like, cool, I got this, cleaning the men's restroom. Besides all the piss that be on the floor, which I don't know how we as men miss the fucking toilet. Like, how do we as men just miss the goddamn toilet? I don't understand that shit. How do we miss the toilet? I don't, however. But how do men, I mean, it's just piss all over the floor. Probably TMI for you guys. But so I was like, cool, I got the men's restroom. I got that shit, because I can clean the men's restroom in no time flat. Because it's just mopping the floor, cleaning the toilets, cleaning the urinals, and cleaning the sinks. That was the easy part, and taking the trash out. And luckily enough, I had just cleaned it maybe 30 minutes prior, so I knew it wasn't that dirty, because nobody had been in the store at that time. So I cleaned the bathroom. Tell him I'm done. He's like, wow, you finished both of the bathrooms quickly. I said, both? He said, yes. You're supposed to clean the women's. I was like, really? He was like, yeah. I'm like, okay. I'm expecting to go into the women's restroom and clean it. No time. Go into the women's restroom. However, I did not know that in the women's restroom that there were trash cans in the stalls, because in some of the men's restrooms there's no trash, trash cans in the stall. So I was like, oh, there's a trash can. Oh, I'm finna scar myself again thinking about this. I'm not gonna give y'all the gory details, but there was a little surprise when I opened up the women's trash can. A little surprise that I never wanted to see again. And I went to my boss, he started laughing. He's like, oh, I forgot to tell you, you need to take some gloves with you. I'm like, now you tell me. God, women. I really did not know women were that nasty in the bathroom. My mom was like, yep, women are the most disgusting people in bathrooms. I'm like, well, I know that now, and I'll never clean another women's bathroom a day in my life. But back to this show, I just didn't understand how she's changing that women's restroom. I'm just so appalled by that. Disgusting. Now, they go out to eat. I was looking at this jacket that Shonda had on. That jacket was leather pleather with this feather shit on it. I'm like, girl, what the fuck is this? Why does she look like why does she look like a South Pole ad? I'm like, God. I mean, and him with that big ass on, it looked like a pimp with his prostitute. No shade, just how it looked to me. And then another thing that I want to point out is, first of all, why does he keep talking about her ass like she had no shade? I don't see an ass on her. I mean, those clothes were baggy as fuck. She just ain't got no shape to me. Sorry, but not sorry. But I'm gonna move on because I don't want to spend too much time on those two. All right, next let's talk about Christiana and John minus Christiana. So John calls her mama Tammy. When Tammy answered the phone, he said, "Is Tammy there?" She said, "This is her." I'm like, God damn, does she sound like a man? Like her voice was deep as fuck. Her voice was deeper than my voice is. So he wants to take her out to lunch. So he goes and gives her, and then I saw her with that oxygen tank. I'm like, oh, that's why her voice is deep. Mama probably been smoking cigarettes for her whole life. Probably have to give up the cigarette. Nope, you know what? Because I actually do know some people. I do know some people that, you know, they are on oxygen tanks, but they still smoke cigarettes, and I just don't understand that shit. If you're on an oxygen tank, why would you then still smoke? Make it make sense. It doesn't. So he tells her, you know, that they got married, and it was a Native American, a native wedding. She's like, "Why was it native?" John is a scammer. That motherfucker is nowhere near native. I have more native in me than he does, and the native in me is years and years and years down the line. The native in me is decades old. It's probably so far gone that you probably wouldn't even find it in me. That's how native I am. That's how much more Native American I have in me than he does. I think it's like my great, let me think about it, because it's my mama's grandfather. And I have to think about my actual bloodline. He's like my fourth generation grandfather. So 4. So yeah, you can do the math. That shit is long gone out of my system, out of my bloodline probably, but it's probably still there somewhere. But yeah, you know, he talked about the Native American wedding. She felt, you know, she talks about the fact that Christiana's Christian and she expected to walk her down the aisle. And then she asked him, had he ever been married before? He says, yes, he's been married 4 times. I'm like, God damn, 4 times. And that wasn't even the tip of the iceberg. What he said next threw me for a loop. When he said that his first wife, he ran off with her cousin and married her while he was still married to the first wife. I'm like, first of all, how is that possible? How can you marry someone when you're already polygamy? Never mind. Child, that cousin, and that they gotta be like so estranged at this point. I hope and pray that neither one of them had kids by him. I'm hoping and praying, because that would be a fucked up family reunion. Go talk to your cousin brother. Go talk to your sister cousin. Like, oh my God, that would be so terrible for those kids. Like, what do you tell your friends at school? Oh, that's my brother and my sister, but also my cousin at the same time. Well, how is that possible? Oh, because our dad slept with my dad. Our dad slept with her mom, who's my mom's cousin. How do you explain that shit? And when you thought you had heard it all, you didn't. He also goes one step forward and tells her that he told her that they're both cons. Which, I mean, hell, who the fuck couldn't figure out that John is an ex-con? He's still conning people and scamming people. But this fool said he overdrew his account by $200,000. I was just like, how do you do that? Like, at a certain point, I mean, I know what it is writing hot checks, but goddamn, at a certain point, they're gonna stop you. $200,000, like shit. My bank trips over a penny. Like I'm about to have a dispute with them about an overdraft fee that they said that I did, which I know damn well it is not an over. How can I overdraw an account when there's money in the account? What happened is I took $40 out of my savings account and put it in my checking account. They put a fucking hold on it. Did not know that until I went and bought some stuff, put a hold on it. Then when they took the hold off, they said the money should clear into your account. It did not clear into my account, but then my savings account was talking about it was overdue. No, the fuck it was not. There was money there. The shit that I go through. But this motherfucker over here is overdrawing $200,000 like it ain't shit. The fuck? Let's move on. These two. Maurice and Jessica. These two are literally annoying the hell out of me every episode. They are both complaining about being in Compton. Jessica is complaining because she's a white girl and I don't feel like she's being around black people. That's my personal opinion. So they go out to eat. Now, she had a whole fucking attitude. Now, I understood why she had the attitude because I peeped game while I was looking at Maurice and that waitress because Maurice kept looking at that waitress up and down like, damn, fuck her being here. Can I have you on the menu? Are you on the menu? Can I have you? Because Maurice was just looking at her up and down. So, she's talking about she doesn't want to, be without Maurice. I'm just like, girl, you have been without him for how long? How long have y'all been married and how long was he in prison? What the fuck is a few weeks or a month in Vegas? Vegas and Compton are not that fucking far apart. I don't know how far apart they are, but they are not that far apart. And, he's talking about, well, you uncomfortable being here. She says, no, I'm not. I'm like, yes, the fuck you are uncomfortable being in Compton. It is written all over your face. We can see it clear as daylight. You're uncomfortable with being in Compton. It's nothing wrong with that. So then she pulls a white girl talking about, we need to ask for a supervisor. Ask for a supervisor. Ma'am, what is a supervisor going to do? How is asking for a supervisor going to help you? If you had to do paperwork and it takes time for it to process, there's not shit a supervisor can do to push it through, expedite it, none of that. So sit down and shut the fuck up. Now, however, this fool, I don't know why he keeps talking about violating his parole on national television. You do realize that there are cameras in front of you recording your every word and every move. But yet instead you keep talking about fuck the police, fuck parole, fuck this, fuck that, fuck. And I'm just like, dude, what if your PO is actually watching this episode right now? Do you care? Probably don't, because your stupid ass might go back to jail just like your dumb ass uncle did. So then we see them in the car. I'm like, oh my God, are they literally on camera talking about that they are violating his parole going to Vegas? Now, Jessica, you do realize that he's violating parole, so you do realize that you're helping him, right? You would be aiding and abetting a fugitive. These people are so stupid. Where do they get these dumbass people from? Like, oh my God, I've never saw somebody so dumb in my life. That is until I saw Chevelle. Now, here's the other thing that bothered me with Jessica. Because he was talking about he wants to meet his mom and dad. I'm like, your mom and dad? Ain't your mama in Compton? You don't know these people. Oh God. Stupid. So then he was like, when I meet your daddy, so I say, hey Pops, what's up, my nigga? She was like, no, don't say nigga. I was like, what? Did she say nigga? Because they bleeped it out. I'm like, oh, whoa. Jessica felt comfortable enough to say nigga on camera? Really? And he ain't got no issue with that? Man, if a white person ever say nigga in front of me, I'm a haul off and punch the shit out of a man or woman. No offense. I don't like to put my hands on women, but I'm gonna haul off and knock the shit out of you. If I ever hear a white person say the word nigga in front of me, I'ma check you. Like real deal Holyfield, I'ma check your ass. Don't say nigga. Don't say nigga. Don't say nigger. Don't say any of them. Period. And I know people are gonna probably, well, not me personally, but I know people have I know that's a double standard with people. I know that is a topic of discussion. If we don't want white people to say nigga, we as black people shouldn't say nigga. I know that's the discussion always. But I mean, if you don't want to use the word nigga, then that's on you. That's on you. But unfortunately, I'm going to continue to say the word. If you got a problem with it, I honestly, God, don't give a fuck. It's a word that I've been saying since I was a kid. And it's a word that I'm going to continue to say until I die. And again, I know it's a double standard. I know. There are a lot of double standards in this world, but I'm not going to talk about them. Let's move on. All right, and then let's wrap up with Chevelle and Quaylon. First and foremost, she needs to adjust that wig. That wig bothers me. Wig bothers me. And then in this week's episode, I noticed a little bit more about that wig. So right here, the wig is humped up. Then back here, you can see her hair and the wig are blended together, and it ain't blended well. Because I can see her real hair and the wig. I'm like, oh my God, girl. So her and Quaylon, they are heading to meet her daughter. He got this fish in a bowl. I'm like, that fish is probably dead. That fish is more than likely dead. When I was a kid, when we used to have our county fair, our little fair in our hometown, one year my cousin won a fish from the fair. And before we got home, because we jinxed stuff like hardcore. We told her, your fish is gonna die. She's like, no, it's not. And be like, your fish is gonna, me and her sister, they're like, actually like my sisters. I consider them my sisters. And we were like, that fish is gonna die. She's like, no, it's not. And then my big cousin, she's like, y'all stop telling her that fish is gonna die. I'm like, what is gonna die? And even her boyfriend said, that fish is gonna die. So by the time we made it home, what happened? The fish was belly up. Forget that fish was belly up when we got to the house, and we were like literally not even 10 minutes from the house. But when we got to the house, that bag, the fish was already dead. Oh God, I remember it like it was yesterday. That fish was dead, and we were like, see, told you, your fish was gonna die. She got mad. But we told her that fish was gonna die. Like literally, we could see that fish was gonna die because he really wasn't. He was swimming at first in his little circle, but then that swim, it started to die down. It was just he would move every little bit. But yeah. So I'm like, I was looking at that. I'm like, that fish is dead. Now I will say, Chevelle's daughter is so cute. Her name is Maila. Very cute little girl. Now here's the issue with her mama and Chevelle. The biggest issue with Chevelle's mama is her eyebrows that are penciled in, her gold eyeshadow with them gold lips. I'm like, sis, you really love gold, don't you? That's not the biggest issue. The huge issue with me when it comes to Chevelle and her mama is they expect a lot of Quaylon. This dude was 17 years old when he got out of jail, went to jail. Well, he's been gone for 12 years, I think. So he's not even 30 years old yet. And he spent his adult years in jail. Why do y'all expect for him to come out of jail being instant daddy, instant husband? Let the man get his footing. Now, what he said, I didn't understand as well. When he was talking about this will help him this will help him with, he needs some stability and some responsibility. And I was like, well, if you need some responsibility, here's one thing that you can do. Get a job. Number 2, pay bills. Number 3, get a dog. That'll give you some responsibility right there. But here I just don't understand them. Like, why do they expect for him to be an instant daddy? Why are we expecting that from a man who's been in jail for pretty much his whole adult life? The majority of his 20s, let's put it that way. Now, when Chevelle's mama says she put her eggs in a batch before, I'm like, it's not a batch, it's a basket, but I got what you meant. Now, Chevelle, I have a big issue with you. The issue that I have with Chevelle is she wants him to propose to her within 6 months. That's not going to happen. And if it does, it's not going to last. And then number 2, the number 2 issue that I have with Chevelle is the fact that you allowed your daughter to call this man daddy. That is your fault and your problem. You should not have done that. I get you might want a father figure for your daughter, but that wasn't it. That wasn't it. That wasn't it. That was not it. All right, you guys, that's going to wrap it up for me with this episode of Love After Lockup. Be sure to like this video, leave your comments, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification button so you guys are aware of when I drop anything else. Share this video, and until the next one, you guys do me a big solid favor out there. Take care of yourselves, stay safe, stay hydrated, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.